Welcome to Budapest. This wonderful city is in the midst of summer and is blooming with colour. What better time to stage the inaugural Budapest Judo Grand Prix? After hosting the European Championships last year, the city showed its promise and now has a regular World Circuit event. The Grand Prix would give the Hungarian judo fans inside the Pat Laszlo Sports Arena a chance to see the world's best judoka in action. International Judo Federation President Mr. Fiza was in attendance and used the occasion as an opportunity to sign an important agreement with the International Blind Sports Association. This event is the second Grand Prix since Olympic qualification began in Havana 3 weeks ago, and fighters have flocked here in search of valuable IJF ranking points. But the World Championships is also on the horizon, and at the draw all eyes were on some of the main contenders in action. In particular, Japan had some of its very best fighters on show. And with the pressure mounting, how would they fare under the spotlights in Budapest? We start at under 100 kilograms with a man who wants more than anyone to win the big one. Grol of the Netherlands is a 3-time runner-up at the World Championships, and after last year's defeat in the final at the hands of Azerbaijan's Mammadov, he'll be going into Chelyabinsk desperate to break the jinx. And in Budapest, he looked to be ready for the challenge. A counter-attack against Gazimov saw the world number 4 through to the semi-finals, where a Yuko scoring foot sweep was enough to dispatch Latvia's Borodavko and leave Grol fighting for gold. In the final, his opponent would be Haga of Japan. The youngster's early promise is still yet to translate into winning performances. But here in Budapest, he stunned everyone when he faced off against the reigning world champion Mammadov. Haga not only dominated the grips, he also constantly threatened the Azerbaijani and scored a wazari and a yuko with his favourite technique, uchimata. Japan's last legendary fighter in his weight was the great Kosei Inui, who also favoured uchimata. And in his semi-final against Sweden's Pasek, Haga was on point again with the technique, this time scoring ippon. Will Haga now step up to the plate and follow in head coach Inui's steps for Japan? Or would Grol give himself a boost going into Chelyabinsk? So Grol got to come forwards now. Shido on the board. 3 times world silver medalist Grol, and he really wants to win that big one at the next World Championships. And look at that uchimata, easily killed there by Grol. He's had a lot of success with that today, Haga. Kosei Inui giving him instructions, and the president of the IJF, Mr. Fiza, looking on there with interest. Grol, big arm over the back. He's just got to kill anything that Haga starts to line up for the uchimata, and he's got to be strong with it. Henk Grol, certainly physically a lot stronger and trying to set it up himself. Now what's going to happen? Well, he almost looked as if he was going to do some kind of uranagi or taniotosh there, Henk Grol. So now, Grol, I think, just starting to climb on top of this match. He's physically the stronger, but Haga technically the better. Head down. Haga now got to get out of there. Looking again for the line. He's got to be a little bit careful because Grol is trying to line him up. He's renowned for his takedowns and his counter-attacking. And there it is! Oh! Taniotosh! And Haga goes down for the full point. Henk Grol has absolutely buried him. Well, it was kind of Kosoto, Taniotosh, and that was absolutely amazing. It was superb stuff. He was setting him up. And in the end, he just plants him onto his shoulders for the biggest ippon. The hand was very close to the leg, but he didn't touch it, I didn't think. And it was a great ippon, and it certainly sets him up now for Chelyabinsk. And, well, a possibility of winning that world title that has so far eluded him. That was great stuff from Henk Grol. 3 times a world silver medalist. He'll be going to Chelyabinsk now as one of the favourites, I think, in the category. Can he do it this time? Can he win the big one?
Nou ja, the big one. It's
the big one.
Het is natuurlijk maar een Grand Prix, maar het is lekker. Het is best goed bezet toernooi. Maar het gaat natuurlijk om de WK. Daar wil ik winnen en Rio erachteraan, daar ga ik voor.
I'm hoping that everything will fall into place.
Dan ga ik zeker die gouden medaille halen.
Moving across to the twin female weight of under 78 kilograms. And the Dutch flag was once again flying high as world number 2 Verkerk topped the podium. A scrappy final against Slovenia's Velencek saw Verkerk outgrip her opponent and take gold through penalty points. The win saw the Dutch woman jump to world number 1 in the rankings. One weight down at under 70 kilograms, Germany's Marzok earned herself the gold medal. In the final, she overcame young Croatian Matic with a textbook Ouchigari. Quickly rotating Matic, she used a reaping action to take advantage of a half-hearted attack from her opponent to score it on. The win moved her up to number 11 in the world rankings and will be a massive confidence boost for the German heading into Chelyabinsk. The under 52 kilogram category was won by the highest ranked judoka in the world at the moment, Kelmendi of Kosovo. She now has an incredible 3,380 ranking points to her name and is light years ahead of her competition in the weight. In the heaviest female category of over 78 kilograms, it was Japan who struck gold through Takimoto. The world number 3 looked in a class of her own in Budapest. And in the final against Ukraine's Yoromka, she produced a sublime Haragoshi to score Ippon and give her a good momentum heading into Chelyabinsk. And at under 63 kilograms, Japan's women were yet again on the mark as Toshiro came through the pack to top the podium. Her final was against Tridos of Germany, and it was won with Ouchigari. Reaping away her opponent's leg whilst driving her weight forwards, Toshiro landed Tridos on her side to score a Wazari that would be enough to leave her sitting pretty atop the podium. The under 57 kilogram category saw the entry of the 2012 Olympic champion Matsumoto. She returned to action with a gold in Dusseldorf in February, and she was here in Budapest as focused as ever, looking to continue an incredible unbeaten run on the IJF World Circuit that stretches back to December 2011. Matsumoto is nicknamed the Assassin, and she showed exactly why in her elimination contests. After dispatching Jakova with Kouchigari, she showed brilliant footwork again in the semi-final. 2 amazing pieces of Ashiwaza earned her victory against Capriorio in a rematch of the 2012 Olympic final. Francis Rossivu would be Matsumoto's opponent in the final after putting away Roper with a spectacular Uchimata. Could the young French woman pose any threat to the Olympic champion? Matsumoto looking very much in control here, but got to watch it. Rossivu's dangerous. That was a near one there. Koshiguruma, and she attacked immediately. She caught hold. The Olympic champion looking good. Unbeaten since Tokyo 2011. There's the Koshiguruma. She landed on her front though. Rossivu still coming forward. She's having her sleeve dominated at the moment. Matsumoto using her legs to great effect. And there's the Wazari. Good Ashiwaza. She's always got good Ashiwaza. A good Ouchigari there for Rossivu, but she was off balance. And that should be enough for Matsumoto to win this Budapest Grand Prix. Another win for the Olympic champion. She's en route and looking good for the World Championships.
As soon as I get on the tatami,
Switch.
become
で
an assassin.
畳から出るとやっぱり
But off the mat,
元
when I'm
の
not competing,
まあ
I'm just a girl.
まあとっても嬉しくて、
I'm
でも
so
やっぱ
happy
オリン
right
ピック
now.
が終わってからドイツ
I
国
am
際
unbeaten
あ
on
と
the
やっ
IGF World
ぱ
Circuit
国
since
際大
London
会では一度も負け
2012.
てないので、このままやっぱ負けず
And
の
I want to
負
keep
け
it
ない
that
松
way.
本で頑張っていこうと思ってます。
In the lightest female category, there was a chance for the home fans to cheer as Hungarian Olympic medalist Cernoviski took gold. Competing under the spotlights with Hungarian Olympic legends and teammates in the crowd to cheer her on, Cernoviski relished the opportunity to impress on home soil, and did just that with a classy performance seeing her through her elimination bouts and into the final. There she flew her nation's flag with pride against Italy's Mosca, weathering the storm and launching her own attacks to dominate proceedings and force penalties on her opponent. It would be enough to give her the win. Fireworks inside the arena. Hungary's top female athlete had done it for them. A great result for Hungarian judo. Cernoviski, the heroine of the hour. Icing on the cake of a successful first Grand Prix for Budapest.
Ez egy nagyon nagy lehetőség a magyar judósoknak, hogy ezt a Grand Prix-t megrendezhették, ugye elsősorban azért, mert az olimpiai kvalifikációba beleszámít, és hát súlycsoportonként 4 versenyző indulhatott, és az is nagyon nagyszerű, hogy a gyerekek élőben láthatják a válogatott sportolókat, a példaképeket, akiket követhetnek.
At under 81 kilograms, there was another fan favourite fighting for a medal. This time bronze, as Kritsan took on Francis Smith. Could he add to Hungary's medal tally? Kritsan absolutely got the crowd behind him. He's looking to throw big here. Smith, though, is a big thrower himself as well. He's fighting the crowd as well. Now what's going to happen? Oh, that's what's going to happen. Massive Uranagi Uchimata combination. That's what I call it anyway. And it was huge. And Kritsan couldn't stop it. He knows he's made a mistake. He got too close. Smith picks up and he rotates and he buries Kritsan with the biggest, well, combination. That's what I could call it. Uranagi Uchimata combination, and he scores the ippon and wins the bronze medal. Disappointment for Kritsan, but victory for Smith. In the end, it was a Russian, Kalmazeov, who was awarded the gold medal by Mr. Marius Visa after he pried out his teammate Magomedov's arm to secure a submission in the final. At over 100 kilograms, there was one last bronze medal chance for Hungary, as fan favourite Bor came out to fight Georgia's Maciejashvili for bronze. With the fans firmly behind him, Bor would take some stopping. Well, can Bor do it? Maciejashvili is dangerous and he's looking to put the arm across. Harai Makikomi is his technique. Bor is looking for the pickup. Now he's got the grip ball. The crowd are well behind him. Oh my goodness me, he's made a mistake. Maciejashvili sends the arm across for the Harai Makikomi. And Bor flies over the top. And the crowd are very appreciative. It's an educated audience here in Hungary. And they've done very, very well because their man went right the way over the top there for the biggest ippon. But they applaud the man that did it. Maciejashvili pulls it out the bag. Harai Makikomi, and he wins the bronze. It really has been an amazing crowd here in Budapest. They love their judo, and it shows. And it was Georgia who took gold as well, this time through the ever-present Okruishvili. Lithuania's Paskevicius was his opponent in the final. A tense encounter was decided on the ground. As Okruishvili snaked past the Lithuanian's legs, he was able to secure a hold down and maintain it long enough to chalk up a Wazari. Another win for the Georgian this year as he now moves to world number 3. down at under 73 kilograms, there was another gold to add to the United Arab Emirates' growing gold medal collection as Skortov came through the pack. This year could well see the nation's first world medalist if things go their way in Chelyabinsk. The under 90 kilogram category saw the return of another talented Japanese fighter. World silver medalist Nishiyama has been sidelined with injury, but since the turn of the year has been making a slow but steady comeback. In his eliminations, he looked to be the Nishiyama of old, throwing with lightning-fast precision techniques. With head coach Inui at his side, Nishiyama prepared to face off against Hungary's only male gold medal hope, Toth. He had been in blistering form all day and, spurred on by the crowd, had produced this fantastic Uranagi against Georgia's Kata. He followed that up with a pin to overcome Elmont of the Netherlands and reached the final. Toth had lifted the roof of the arena. Unfortunately, the skill of Nishiyama was a bridge too far for Toth, and the Japanese took the gold with a trademark Osotogari to score Wazari in the final. Disappointment for Toth. But Nishiyama's comeback continues. In the bronze medal contest, there was a contender to vie with Smith for the Ippon of the tournament. This fabulous Haraigoshi from Kalmazeyev of Russia earned in the bronze. A second medal for the Kalmazeyev family to go along with his brother's gold under 81 kilograms. Superb stuff from the Kalmazeyev brothers. At under 66 kilograms, the Japanese men's team added another gold, this time through Takaichi, who chose Budapest to win his first World Circuit title. Facing off against Shershin of Belarus, Takaichi attacked with Uchimata and lifted his opponent so high that he was able to get his shoulder underneath the Belarusian's legs and run through for the most spectacular of wazaris, which would prove to be decisive. Shershin caught. Takaichi looking promising for Japan. But at under 60 kilos, Japan had their real superstar in action. His name is Kata, and he has taken the judo world by storm. Now unbeaten in over 2 years, he is the reigning world champion, clear world number 1. Kata is used to winning, and he does it in style. The Japanese prodigy has reinvented judo by blending the technical precision of the Japanese with the powerful unorthodox styles of Georgian and Mongolian judo. He is a new breed of fighter, and thus far he is completely unstoppable. Kata looks destined to take his second world title this summer in Chelyabinsk. Taking nothing for granted, his intensity means he always gives his best. And in Budapest, none could stand before him as he reached the final with his usual brand of attacking judo. On the other side of the draw was the man closest to being his rival, Papinashvili of Georgia, world number 2. The Georgian is fresh off the back of his win in Havana, and like Kata, has a dynamic array of attacks with which to bombard his opponents. A matchup between the two was eagerly anticipated. On his run to the final, Papinashvili showcased his acrobatic attacking style as he swept past Kazakh Kazayev in the semi-final, eventually pinning his opponent to secure the win. Judo fans worldwide would get their dream final. As they lined up to take to the tatami, the tension could be cut with a knife. Would Papinashvili be able to dethrone Kata? Well, these two are really pumped up. The world number 1 and the world number 2. But don't forget, this man here, Kata, is quite clearly the world #1. He just came onto the scene 2 years ago, and he's just taken it by storm, the 60 kilos category. Papinashvili coming out wearing blue. He's the world #2, but he knows he's got a mountain to climb. Kata in white. And Kata, remember, can come from any angle. He has a mixture of Japanese judo, Georgian judo, Russian judo. It's a mixture. But watch out, Papinashvili can throw as well. Straight into the attack. He's very lively. He's on good form today as well, Papinashvili. But this man here, well, the Georgian coach there shouting advice. This crowd loving this fight. Hips across. Just a bit off balance there. Can't do that with Kata. Kata looking for the Sieneki. Look at the drive and the control of the lapel. And he likes the Newaza as well. There's Kanemaru, the Japanese coach. A very lively fighter himself as well. All action. So are these two. Both giving it everything that they've got. Look at the Georgian trying to pull Kata in. Kata doesn't want it. He wants the space. Ah, look at that one. Well, that was Papinashvili threw that one in. It was almost countered there by Kata. And then Kata, well, he thought he scored with it. Look at this. There's Papinashvili. Kata almost counters it, but then almost gets countered himself. It went 3 ways, that one. And that was brilliant stuff because neither one of them landed either on their side. They landed on their heads, but not on their sides. Good stuff from these two, as you would expect from the world #1 and #2. So now Kata's got to do something really positive. They've both got a Shido. Oh, Kouchi Gary just manages to turn out Kata. Nice skipping Kouchi there from Papinashvili. And Papinashvili, it has to be said, is really starting to climb on top of this. And he's got to be careful. He's got to up the tempo, Kata. Mr. Mariusvi's are loving this, I'm sure he is. Because this is what judo is all about. Kata now got to do something. Left against right extreme. You can see that. Papinashvili going the opposite side this time. So now, what's Kata going to do? Looking for the opening all the time. Got to close the gap. Now he closes it. Oh, it's the Uchimata Uranagi combination. And he takes the world #2 over. He points to the flag, doesn't he, Kata? Kata just showed his brilliance there. That was amazing. And Papinashvili, well, he just looks at his fingers and thinks, well, where did that go wrong? And so does the Georgian coach. Kata, there's a smile from him, and so there should be, because that was brilliant. Had to close the gap. He did. He gets the lift, he controls the upper part of the body, and the world #2 goes over for Ippon. And you've got to remember that this is a Japanese fighter doing a Georgian, Russian-style movement, and he's scoring Ippon with it time and time again. Gets the lift, controls the belt. It's Uchimata as well, but it is pure brilliance. This man can do pure Japanese judo, and he can do the Russian-style, Georgian-style judo as well. And Kata shows why he is clearly the world #1, and he will be going to the World Championships, well, as favourite. And Papinashvili there gives him the nod. He knows he's got a mountain to climb. Kata reigns supreme. Well, that's it from a fantastic Grand Prix in Budapest. Grohl swept aside Haga and showed he's ready to win the big one. Czernowiecki lifted the roof off the stadium, and Matsumoto's comeback continues. But the star of the show was Kata. Can anyone beat him? Join us next from Mongolia for another Grand Prix in its capital, Ulaanbaatar.